welcome in. Good morning. I hope you're doing well today. Happy Wednesday. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're looking at the collective energy for Wednesday, February 21st. These messages are always timeless if you happen upon them down the line and it's not that day, it's not today, then just know if it resonates, it's meant for you. Spirit speaks to us in so many different ways, signs, symbolism, synchronicities, etc. And it's really good to just be open to what those messages are. It makes life, a little easier to navigate. It doesn't take away all the annoying shit, but it does help us kind of find a pathway through. And collectively, we really are in this time of doing so. The energy is a little heavy today. We're moving into Piscean season, so happy birthday, everybody who's celebrating this month. It's also, there's a lot of water energy across the board. So the Sun, Saturn, and Neptune are all in Pisces, and that brings up a lot of emotion and feeling. The Moon and Fortune Point are in Cancer, which is also a water sign. Water energy forces us to look at our feelings, our emotions around situations. And it's an interesting patterning coming in from the zodiac. I'm going to take a sip. Because the sign before Pisces is Aquarius. And Aquarian energy is a lot about our hopes and our wish fulfillment, what we idealize our life to be. And when we move into Pisces, we kind of have to see what is actually that and what is not. And it's stuff that does play on our emotional world, whether we want to, whether we're ready to let go or not. And then we have Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. So Taurus is our one earth energy that does help us ground. But it's I'm seeing this dichotomy of we want certain things to happen for ourselves and we're hopeful about it, but then we have to look at, like I said, those places that it's not showing up and figuring out how we can bring that into our material environment. So with this burning stick of Palo Santo, I'm going to do a little energy clearing to start off the reading. It just helps set the tone, set the intention. You can totally participate on your end if you have a smudge bundle, Palo Santo, whatever you want on hand, or follow along with what I'm doing, or skip ahead. Apparently my words don't want to come out today. It's a new smudge, no burning down the house today. Not this morning, thank goodness, Deborah. Don't need that. That actually would probably be in suit with my life right now, so. What else can I say? So I think just be gentle with yourself. Today is the day of Mercury. Mercury is about lessons and communication, information, connection, networking, if you need to do so, broadening your horizons a little bit, especially if you need more support towards your goal, your success and aspirations. But just also be gentle with yourself at the same time, especially if you're communicating with something or someone that is very triggering, because that emotional end can definitely take over. All right, this is about to be ready. Okay, so let's start with our energy clearing. Come on, baby. Nope. No, I look like an asshole. Technically, you're supposed to let it burn out, so maybe I should just let it do that, but I don't know what else to say in the meantime. Well, we can talk a little bit about those emotions. The moon is in opposition to Pluto, so places that we're struggling to make those changes. And a lot of it, the other layer I didn't mention, is a lot of it is about our self-empowerment. Both the North Node and Chiron are in Aries, as well as the vertex point. So it's basically saying things are coming to head in order for us to empower ourselves more. Sometimes they are more difficult. Sometimes they are more humbling. And very difficult to overcome. Wherever you're at, whatever you're going through, I'm always sending so much love and blessings. I'm here for support. Drop comments below. Reach out if you want a personal reading. There we go. All right. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that does not serve the highest and best messages. Help make me a clear and open channel. Release blocks, obstacles, feelings of sadness, unworthiness, the heaviness that is just right now. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama. Amen. All right, so we already talked a little bit about the astrology because of my fire stick. Good. We need some fire, right? Like, we actually have not had a lot of fire in the zodiac, fire placements, and it's been mostly this earth, water, air. So we're kind of vacillating between these principles of, yes, how we feel about things, the work we're willing to do to put into something, and then how it feels about it, right? And not as much about, like, fire is more about creation. It is that principle of moving forward, or even like burning away what doesn't serve. And that's definitely a needed energy right now, is to release, to let go of all the things that just are not in alignment with who we are, that aren't supporting who we are, our goals, our desires, our dreams. And it can be difficult, right? Depending on how closely intertwined. I knew this was going to come up this morning. I could feel it. How closely intertwined we are with what we have to let go of, the cowrie shell. So there is a lot of this feminine energy in your environment that really talks or speaks to that confirmation of the feelings, the emotions that are coming up. I think it's reminding us, like, well, to me, this is outside of us, right? So, okay, we have two endings. Both of the numbers on these cards break down to 10. So, I think that this side, whatever is happening, whether you're dealing with someone who's very into their feminine energy, or they're just exuding a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling, maybe they're even being really passionate, right? Like, maybe they are getting angry, pissed off because of the way that they feel. Ironically or not, like I said, both of these are endings. They're cycle closures, so something's coming to an end. They're both shells, which shells do represent feminine energy being connected to the emotion. But the conch shell always kind of has more of that masculine principle. We often see it depicted as a means to sound out a call or something along those lines, and it has this very, strong tone to it, right? Like, its call is very assured. That's what I want to say. It's like when you want to answer that call because it's something that you need to do, right? It just feels a lot stronger. This cowrie shell, whatever's happening for you, around you, I should say, it feels more unbalanced, untethered. I feel like that's where a lot of these emotions are stemming from that we're feeling. This also connects back to that message, sorry, I don't know where I went, that message of, shit, and I just lost it. Sorry, I'm so sorry, I don't know. It will come back. It will come back. I got lost, guys. I apologize. Okay, so the salamander wants to come out as our connection, infinity and reinvention, and the mockingbird, prophecies and communication. So I feel like the way things are unfolding, like I said, like, you kind of have this air of like, I'm ready, I'm moving forward, I'm standing in my power, I have this strength and assurance. And I love how the conch shell is connected to our homecoming, because I'm hearing it's like you coming home to yourself, right? Remembering who you are, whether it's just like bits and pieces that you've lost of yourself along the way, or reigniting some passion within yourself. And I think in a lot of ways it does call for us to leave this behind. I feel like, because, there's two things unfolding, and we've been seeing this a lot, right? There's the things that we're letting go, the past that's kind of been lingering, clinging on, and then also inviting in the new. And I don't know, there's a struggle. Like, there's a struggle to work together. There's a struggle to maybe even make peace within yourself about how you're moving forward. You already know that this feels like a very decided energy to me. Like, you are decided. You know what your vision is, what your next steps are going to be. You're ready to close out the old, and from a place of, like I said, that empowerment. Where this end is still struggling, you know, there's a lot of defensiveness, there's a lot of selfishness, focus on me, what's going on for me. And then also I feel like this projection onto you, right? The mockingbird, it feels a little belittling, I'm not gonna lie. Like, someone, I keep hearing that, like someone who's mocking you, someone who's trying to get at you, or not taking things seriously, right? It's like they play these games without the knowledge that at some point it's like, you know, not going to be available for them. And, you know, I think it's a lot of when people, places, and things are unable to acknowledge how they feel or what they think around a situation. This is someone who feels very defensive about working together, sorting things out. This is definitely a past energy. And this is also something that you've seen coming with the prophecies and communication. You knew it was going to play out this way, deep in your soul, whether it was the intention going into the relationship, whether, you know, but I feel like you've had this, you know, friendly reminder along the way, maybe not a fun one, but a friendly one of like, hey, this is kind of where this situation is headed. And that in and of itself can be really overwhelming, because anytime we start something new that has potential and opportunity, it's exciting. We feel good. We want it to be an amazing thing, right? But we have to remember that sometimes it's just meant to be a learning lesson. It's just meant to be a period in our life and not necessarily the whole thing. And I think that goes back to that happily ever after concept that we're sold. Like, we're in childhood, regardless of what gender you are, whether you're into princesses or not, but just that value. I keep thinking of that value that, like, once you hit this goal, life is going to be fine. And it really just doesn't work that way. Not to be a Debbie Downer by any means, but we have to be fluid, right? We have to learn to reinvent ourselves. And that's what the salamander is asking us to do. The salamander is used to extreme heat. It can be something, you know, that I feel like I'm hearing this element of being reborn over and over and over again. And this is how I'm feeling the energy play out for you today. Whatever we're like struggling to get over, to move on from, it's remembering that, you know, things have to be reinvented in order for you to get what you want, in order for you to get to your end goal. Sometimes certain people or jobs or situations, communities, they don't fit into our ultimate vision. So we do have to be willing to let go and leave it behind. And again, collectively, that's what this is all about with Pluto moving into Aquarius. Blackberry. So I think this struggle right now is it's forcing you to handle things by yourself, right? I'm not laughing. I get it 100%, but we're not feeling a lot of support in our immediate environment, or the support that we're getting, it's, you know, we get a little push forward and then it still feels like we're alone. It still feels like we're doing this all by ourselves. And I think that attaches back again into the emotionality that's been coming up for us a lot lately. It's hard doing things alone. It's hard being your best cheerleader, supporting yourself through and through, especially when you have a lot of naysayers in your environment, people mocking you, people bringing you down, saying shit, gossiping, whatever, talking behind your back. It's a very overwhelming feeling. And ironically, this vanity set comes in. We saw this a little bit with that peacocking energy. So we really have to remember, like, what is this all about? Like, Is it just this thing of like our ego pride? We don't want to be hurt. We don't want someone or something or people to see us in a certain way. And so we kind of put on this front, and it's not specifically authentic. I mean, I feel like, whatever you're dealing with in your environment is kind of pulling you back into that vanity, into that egoic state. And that's where it's hard to separate from. And I think sometimes we just have to make peace with what is. I know that might not be the most comforting message, but at the same time, it is what we need, the blessed child, because there are so many blessings that are coming out of this at the end. I love this. I'm so thankful that spirit is really confirming that for us, the blessed child. So purity and lost innocence. When we go through these struggles and challenges, it really is hard to remain quote unquote pure or innocent. Purity really meaning, like, I'm attaching it to that innocence of childhood, right? Like being new and fresh and excited and curious about life. There's nothing better. And if you have children, if you're around children, you can see that principle point blank. It's so cool, right? Because they're so in the moment, they're so present and just happy, it's such a good reminder for us as adults, because we get so wrapped into the bullshit, the nitty gritty, and we forget about just enjoying, celebrating, living life. There is communication that's coming in, but I feel like it's going to be a minute. That's what this is saying. I think that we have to kind of move through some more of this emotional energy, because everybody is kind of feeling it. Unless you're dealing with something from the past, this is basically saying that, you are going to be having some time alone, no Debbie Downer, but you are going to be having some time alone. Here's the self-protection energy we're seeing in your environment. We saw this yesterday come up. Something willing to protect with a lot of, with everything they have. They're being very ferocious about it. And, I feel like for you, you're just trying to come from a good space. This Ace of Cups energy, like I said, you've made peace with the new beginnings that are in front of you, and you've accepted it and you're okay with it. And I think that the Ace of Cups is really saying you're ready for something that is more heart honoring. And here's the thing, when people are self-protected, when they're building walls, when they're building their fortress around them, it's really hard to penetrate that. And I feel like this element, I'm hearing like it's just like exhaustion. I can't keep banging my head against the wall. Like if you're going to keep doing this over and over and over again, like I just have to wash my hands of it, because it gets exhausting, right? And we see this principle with the Ace of Cups of you washing your hands clean, acknowledging that you want something that is more heart honoring, that it doesn't have to be this way. The Four of Pentacles is such a rigid energy, and matched with the Ace of Cups and then the Sun as what connects you to, it's like there's no mistaking it anymore for what it is. Like I think, and this message has been coming through a lot. You see it, they see it. It is what it is, right? And I feel like now it's just kind of continuing to push forward with those action steps. Again, you are going to have to be self-reliant for a period of time. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. And maybe this is something that's going to take time. With that Knight of Pentacles, he moves really slow. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. So we have those Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, which basically talks about like, yes, putting the hard work in front of what we want, what we're trying to bring in. Taurus is also the house of money and possessions. I'm hearing like maybe not be so greedy in terms of, right? Like there is something about like, creating space, time, energy for your sanity. Sometimes we don't have to work ourselves to death or force ourselves to be in a partnership, in a commitment where there is financial interdependence. because it's so much more stressful than what it needs to be. There's a lot of stress on the financial front. I do hear that like you yourself are keeping your shit in line. Like you're really dotting your I's, crossing your T's. You're doing the due diligence. There is outside factors that are affecting this. So whether you're like overextending yourself by working too much, or that fear, lack mentality that I'm not going to be supported or I'm not going to have enough, really kind of look at that and investigate it. Because right now, your sanity is worth those extra few dollars in your pocket. Remember, like money comes and goes. Abundance is, I know it's cheesy, but it's a state of mind, and it's really true. We're especially in the first world countries, we're so blessed, like so blessed, right? Like it's, and we really don't need a lot to live off of. So let's be a little bit more practical and realistic with our goals. And yeah, if you have to take a hit financially for a minute, that's okay too. Because we don't want it to, again, hit back to this principle of vanity. You know, it's family, it's how you look, it's the money you have, it's the legacy. This is a lot of superficiality, and no shade. I like expensive things. I like to look good. I think we all do, you know, but sometimes we have to give a little bit in order to get a lot, right? It's that concept of energetic exchange. If we're not willing to let go of anything, we don't have room to bring in the new. And so Spirit's asking you to let go of your ego and your pride for a minute while things get sorted out. It, like I said, it's not a forever thing. It's not saying, oh, you're going to be poor from here on out, or like you can't have that like luxurious thing you want. It's not about that. It's just remembering that like, just because the energy moves in one way for a period of time doesn't mean it's a forever thing, right? Like that happily ever after on the negative side, on what gets taken from us. No, but just remind yourself that it's not all said and done until, well, we'll say until the turkey sings, right? Page of Cups, because there is new blessings coming in. It's a small offer. It might not feel like a lot in the beginning, but I think that there's a lot that comes with it, is what I'm hearing. And it is very blessed, right? It's something that I feel like is giving you reward. Sorry. Ooh, I thought I was gonna have a sneeze come out. My, I don't know, my neck and my shoulder are really kind of messed up from the accident. So I'm still kind of trying to like work through that. So when I try to sneeze, it's like sometimes it doesn't come out because I get so like, like all like kinked up or whatever. All right, enough about me. Let's close out with an oracle message. All right. I don't take offense at what others say about me. This is such a beautiful confirmation. When I feel upset because what others say about me, I just waste my energy. In the end, others' opinions are not about me, but a product of their egos. When I ignore opinions, my approach to life becomes objective and I enjoy life. I really love that. That actually like makes me want to cry, because there is like really just this principle of letting go of people, places, and things, especially the people that bring us down or want to make us feel a certain way about ourselves, when really authentically it's not even true. I've dealt with someone like that over the last few days, and it's just, no matter how nice you are, no matter how balanced or, you know, level-headed or like saying non-triggering words, it just, you know, it just doesn't work. Some people are just the way that they are. And just as this card says, it's more about a product of their ego, right? Their own shit. And we have to stop taking responsibility for those things. What others think about my life is not a part of my life. And this is like a beautiful layering of that. Life around me is full of empty words. Opinions are just a distorted view of reality. I'm not affected by what others think of me simply because their opinions are not me. And so I feel like the driving home is like, principle is to continue to stay strong in your power today. You know, don't let whatever is being said, don't take it to heart too much. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, you're the one living your life. That's it. No one else. So you make your choices. And I think we get so sucked into societal, friends, family, community pressures about what our life should look like, or should be. And maybe, I don't know, we hope that people want the best for us, right? But at the same time, if it's something that's not honoring our heart, if we have to continually be a sacrifice or a doormat, or, in a toxic relationship, in a toxic environment, is it really worth it? Is it really worth spending that time, that part of your life, like putting up with it? Like, who wants to live that way, Yeah, it can be humbling. Yes, we have to be willing to put up with people's opinions and gossip and all the stuff. And that is a very, very, very hard energy to travel through. I went through that a lot within my community last year, and it was really heartbreaking, and no one would have a conversation with me about it. That was the other layer. It wasn't like, it was a lot of one thing to my face and then lies and gossip behind my back. And it really affected me, my career, like a lot of different aspects. And it's a really hard thing to overcome, but we get through it. I'm a product that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to keep pushing forward, stay honest and true to who we are, what we deserve, what we long for, and not withhold it from ourselves, right? Like, we're the one person that can give ourselves what we want. So we might as well. We might as well, right? All right, guys, I am sending all the love and blessings, whatever you're navigating through. Know I'm here for support. Drop comments below. I love to hear what's going on, how it resonates, and just sending a little bit of love your way. I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in always. Lots of love. Thank you.